Hi friends. So I've had a change of heart about something, really two things, but mainly about whether injection sites matter, like whether where you inject will give you a different result. So if you've been on Zepbound for any length of time or any GLP-1 medication, actually, you know that in our little community, our Zepbound GLP-1 community, there's a lot of passionate opinions about whether injection sites matter. So I've always been in the camp that injection sites do not matter. And I do have a bit of a different opinion about that now. But first, I feel like I have to explain why I was initially kind of turned off by that idea. And it had to do with some of the YouTube videos that I would come across. And so the titles and thumbnails to me seemed very clickbaity. They seemed very much geared to grab your attention and make you click on the video. So it would say something like the best injection site on Zepbound or the worst injection site on Zepbound. And I get that on YouTube, obviously, when you're competing against 100 other videos on this, thousands of other videos even on the same topic, you need to kind of sensationalize things and make it a little clickbaity. And there's no arguing with the fact that it works. Like, it does get a lot of views. So I do understand that, but it just felt too gimmicky, and I just didn't really, it just rubbed me the wrong way, So aside from the thumbnails that I was seeing, I was also reading comments from people that were very opinionated on this issue. So I would read comments saying, like, if you want to lose weight faster, inject in your thigh, or don't inject in your stomach because you're going to feel nauseous. Every time I inject in my stomach, I have like the worst nausea. And it just seemed kind of, it just rubbed me the wrong way for people to think that because something worked a specific way for them, that it would work that way for me. You know what I mean? So I just didn't really have much patience for that, and I just kind of dismissed the whole idea. It was probably 4 months into my journey when I finally decided that I wanted to try a new spot. I just wanted to experiment. That was really the motivation behind it, because I kept hearing so many people have such strong opinions about this that I decided to just try it for myself and see if there was anything to it. So unfortunately, I did not experience any better weight loss or anything like that. I was still losing on average about 2 pounds a week. I didn't have any side effects. I wasn't having side effects on my thigh either, but everything was the same. There was absolutely no difference at all, no noticeable difference anyway. So that to me just proved that there wasn't one particular spot that worked better than another. And so I kind of just put it out of my mind, but I did enjoy that spot because it was basically painless. I didn't have any pain at all. And in fact, a couple of times I'd have to look at the pen to make sure that the injection, like that there was no medicine in the vial, because I didn't even feel it. And that was great, because every time I had done my injection on my thigh, I always felt it. Like, it always stung, and sometimes it stung like really, really bad. And so the fact that now I wasn't experiencing any of that, and it was honestly like painless, I just stayed with my stomach this whole time. And it's probably been about, I would say like 5 months since I've been doing it on my stomach. So that brings us to where we are today. And if you've watched my recent videos, I've kind of been struggling a little bit with the food noise and just kind of feeling like the appetite suppression isn't really as strong. And I spoke about this in my last video, so I won't go into it, but obviously it's a lot worse when it's that particular time of the month and hormones are kind of just all over the place. So I have been wondering if it's time for me to move up to 7.5, but I've just not been wanting to do that. So I've just kind of been trying to ride this out and see if I can kind of get past this. My strategy has been from the very beginning to stay on each dose as long as possible, and to hopefully not even move up to the higher doses. So I hope to one day get off this medication. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I hope. I'm hoping to one day heal my metabolism enough, or whatever it is, that I can wean myself off this medication. And so my thinking is that it'll be easier on my body to kind of wean itself off of 5 milligrams or even 7.5 milligrams back down to 0, as opposed to coming off some of the higher doses like 12.5 or 15 milligrams and working my way down to 0. So because I'm hoping to get off the medication, I just want to take as little of it as I possibly can. And obviously I still want it to be effective though. So I'm trying to balance those two things out, but I'm not saying that that's the right way. Obviously we're all different and we all have different, metabolic health issues. So what works for me might not necessarily work for you. And I don't think badly of anybody if they do have to move up to the higher doses quicker than I have. But I'm just very grateful that I've been able to stay on 5 milligrams for like 7 months. So I'm trying to keep it that way, but at the same time, I'm fully aware that I may have to move up. But anyhow, this past week we had 2 birthdays, so like back to back. So it was my daughter's 16th birthday, and then the day after my little guy turned 4. So there was a lot of, activity and things going on, and more food and snacks than usual. And I gotta say, it was pretty hard for me, especially coming off of last week where I've just been really struggling with like the hormonal fluctuations and all of that. So I had gotten some bagels and cream cheese that we could have the morning of my daughter's birthday because she likes bagels and cream cheese. And so I was initially gonna have a bagel, and then I looked at how many calories it was and decided that it wasn't worth it. And I would do the mature thing and just make myself like a proper breakfast. So I scrambled up some eggs and I had that with some avocado. So I ate that, and I guess I was pretty satisfied with that. So it had the carbs from the avocado, the healthy fats, and the protein, right? A very well-rounded breakfast. I'm starting to make bagels for some of my younger kids, and I'm starting to spread the cream cheese on them, and I just couldn't resist anymore at that point. Like maybe if I wasn't actually making the bagels, it would have been a lot easier to do. But now I'm like smelling them, and the cream cheese is like kind of like melting on the toasted bagel a little bit. And I just was like, that's it. I'm having a bagel. And so I actually didn't feel too guilty about having a bagel, even though I had had a pretty high calorie breakfast, because I know that with me anyway, if I deprive myself too much of something, then I can binge on it. And it's a whole science with me, because some things I know I just have to avoid because I can't, there's no going back, like Doritos. So I know like I just have to avoid that. And then there's other things that I know I can avoid and I can restrict myself from eating them. But at the same time, I can't do it too much because it could become one of those foods that it's like the forbidden fruit, and then I just want it all the time. So it's weird. But anyhow, so I decided, just, this is important to you. You really like bagels, just have the bagel, and, and that's okay, So I did. I had the bagel, and I'd like to say that was the end of it, but unfortunately it wasn't. And I really debated sharing this because it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. So after having that bagel, I decided that that wasn't enough and that I wanted another one. So I did make another bagel with cream cheese, and I ate that. Sadly, unbelievably, I still was not happy with that. And so I actually made my little guy a bagel, and after I made it, he decided he didn't want it anymore. Now, what I should have done was offered it to somebody else, or I, could have wrapped it up and saved it for him for later, because he probably would have changed his mind. And, there's a lot of things I could have done, but I didn't. I guess used that as an excuse to eat that bagel too. So altogether, within like an hour, I had 3 scrambled eggs, half an avocado, and 3 bagels with cream cheese. So yeah, not good. I probably ate all my calories for the day, or close to it, just in those bagels. So obviously, I was not eating because I was hungry. I was not even eating because I was really craving the bagel. Like the first one, yes, but not the second or the third. At that point, I was just eating because I was just reverting back to what got me to be 80 pounds in the first place, which is binge eating. That was really the only reason why I was eating. And as I'm eating this, I know that I shouldn't be eating it. I know there's no reason to eat it. I'm not hungry or anything like that, but I couldn't stop myself. I was just, it was like, it sounds ridiculous to say, but it kind of does feel like an out-of-body experience. I was just eating. Anyhow, that was on Friday. So Saturday comes around. Now it's my little guy's birthday, and I know that we have like a day of going out to eat, and we were going to have birthday cake and all these things. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to give myself my injection a day early so that hopefully I would limit the damage I would do that day. Not to mention that on Sunday, we always get together with my family for dinner. So I really just felt like I needed to do this a day early. But not only did I do it a day early, I actually decided to try a different spot, and I decided to do the back of my arm. And that decision was definitely motivated by Downsizing Diva. So I was at her live last week. I think it was last week, a week and a half ago maybe. And she was talking about doing the injection in her arm and having pretty good success. But she actually did a video a few days after the live talking about it. And I was reading through some of her comments, and I came across some of the same people that leave comments here on my channel. And I was reading what they had to say. And these are people that I trust and I value their opinion. And they were actually saying that they tried it on their arm and that's been like a great spot for them. Then I saw this one comment from Mindy, and you might recognize her because she's very supportive and leaves a lot of comments here on my channel, and she's kind of like all over the place. So she wrote, I'm going to read it to you. It took me a while to be brave doing my arm, but now it is my favorite. I always thought that all spots should work the same and laughed at people who said a certain spot was more effective. But I swear my arm gives the most suppression. It's probably all in my mind, but I'm still exclusively doing my arms. So with that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. I don't care if it's a placebo effect or anything else. I am struggling. I need the extra support, the extra help. I'm going to give it a try. It's kind of like my last ditch effort before having to move up to 7.5. So I decided to give it a try. And as you can see, it was not very easy for me. I was very scared about it. And it actually did end up hurting pretty bad. And I guess maybe I got used to it because I was doing my stomach and it absolutely was like painless. And then going from that to my arm, it was kind of like a shock to my system, but it actually hurt pretty bad. And when I used to do my thighs, it did sting, but when I did the back of my arm, it like actually really hurt. So I don't know if that's going to get better. I might have just hit a nerve. I have no idea. You can see in the video, I'm like, I'm not doing that again because it hurt so bad. But anyway, aside from me being a baby about that, I will say that the results have been amazing, actually amazing. I went from kind of really struggling with the food noise and feeling like the appetite suppression wasn't really there anymore to definitely noticing a big difference. Food noise is basically all gone. I'm definitely not thinking about food as much as I was last week or the week before, or even the week before that. So I'm very happy about that. And I also feel like the appetite suppression has been really good. So, normally I know that some people, when they do their injection, they say like, the first couple of days, they really feel the effects of it. And then it kind of starts to taper off a little bit. I never really felt like that at all. Like it always seemed pretty even and like evenly distributed throughout my week. So I didn't really have that problem. But now for sure, I feel like it's working. It does not feel like when I first took my first couple of injections where it felt like magic and like I could barely eat. Like I could still eat. I don't feel like excessively full or anything like that. But I definitely feel like I'm more in control. And so I feel like I can make better choices now because I'm not, thinking about food so much. And so I can kind of just like regroup and make better choices, just make better choices. But I just want to thank Downsizing Diva because she really did plant the seed, and I'm so glad she did because I've been very happy with the results this week. And if you're not following her, actually, I highly recommend you go check her out. She's sharing her journey as well. And she's just a very nice, warm, caring, genuine person. And I really think if you like me, you'll absolutely love her. So definitely go check her out. And if you like what you see, show her some love and subscribe because she's really a great person. And, it's not easy doing this. It's not easy putting yourself out there and risking like ridicule or negative comments from people. And I have to say, you guys have all been amazing. I've not had a negative experience, maybe like one or two comments that have irked me along the way, but nothing like really bad. So I've been very lucky to have such an amazing community. And so thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and all of that. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, it's not easy. So if you feel led, go check her out, subscribe, show her some love. You know, we're one big happy family here. And you know that a lot of times I'm talking about other content creators that I get inspiration from. I guess the takeaway here is that it is possible to have one spot work better over another spot, but it's different for everyone. And so right now my arm is working out pretty good. I can do it again next week and find that, you know, I'm not having the same results. And we know that we're supposed to be injecting into like fatty parts of the body because it helps with absorption. And obviously if you're on this medication, chances are you're gonna have a little extra fat on those like recommended injection sites. So like your arms, your stomach, your thighs. But nonetheless, there's no denying that I feel a difference having done it in my arm a few days ago. And I don't know, is my arm any chunkier than my stomach? No. Definitely not. So I don't really know why I feel like it's working so much better now. It can just be a placebo effect. I don't know. But like I said, I don't even care. Like, I don't even care. If I feel like it's helping me, then placebo or not, I'm happy to, you know, just go with it. And that's what I plan to do. So I'm definitely not too proud to admit that I was probably a little misguided, but with a caveat, and that is that I don't think there is a perfect injection site because we're all different and what works for me might not work for you and vice versa. But definitely consider this an option, especially if you feel like you have to titrate up. It might just help you stay on whatever dose you're on for a little longer. All right, so you're probably wondering, if it works so well, how much did I lose? Show me the receipts, right? Well, I am happy to report that I actually did lose weight this week. So last week I was 158.7. I weighed myself this morning and I was 154.2. So that's 3.6 pounds. And so like almost 3.5 pounds. Now, I know that sounds like a lot in 1 week, but I did mention last week that I thought some of my weight gain was water weight. So I don't think this is truly all like fat loss. I think some of that was just water. So I know for some people that might seem a little slow, and then for others that's going to seem like super fast. But again, you know, we're all different and we just can't compare. My journey is different than yours. We're all coming into this at different points. Your metabolic health might be different than mine. Our ages might be different. What we're doing, like our day-to-day activity, might be different. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes I do feel bad when I read some of your comments and you're expressing frustration because you're not losing, or you haven't lost in a really long time, or that it's going really slow. Like, we're all different. Just keep at it. If you stick to it and you're consistent and you continue to show up for yourself, eventually your body will get the hint. It may do it very slow, may do it a lot slower than you want, but you'll get there. But you're not going to get there if you give up. So stay on track and just do all the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. Put yourself first. I know it's very hard to do, especially as women. We're, you know, juggling a lot of plates, but it's super important that we continue to show up for ourselves. So that is my encouragement for you guys today. And next week, I think I'm going to do a what I eat in a week video. Well, minus 3 bagels with cream cheese for breakfast. But I really just want to capitalize on this momentum that I'm feeling right now and just kind of be really deliberate about my food choices and just kind of going back to the basics, like how things were before things started to kind of get a little bit hairy. So I'm going to be doing that next week. So I won't be doing a weigh-in video next week because it's just going to be like too much. But the video after that is going to be like my big 8 months on Zepbound reveal. And I did that for my 5-month and it did really well. So I'm excited to share that with you. So anyhow, if you liked this video, please remember to hit subscribe, or not subscribe. Well, if you're not subscribed, please do that. But if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.